Yo, what's going on, YouTube? And welcome back to Goal Line Hockey. It's your boy, Kevin Forte, and we are taking a look today at the Chicago Blackhawks as they have officially been eliminated from the 2022 Stanley Cup Playoffs. So, we'll be looking at the Blackhawks today, what went wrong this season, what has to improve in the offseason, and where things are kind of looking in the future for the Blackhawks. So we're going to go over all of that today. So it was a big year for the Chicago Blackhawks. A lot of change. Obviously, things didn't go so well this season. Going into the season, expectations were that, with Stan Bowman back and with, things starting to turn around seemingly, they bring in Marc-Andre Fleury, they bring in Seth Jones, and things are starting to look pretty good for the Blackhawks. And especially with Patrick Kane and Jonathan Toews healthy, it's just all good news around for this team. A healthy Kirby Dach to start the season, unlike 2020. So things have looked progressively better. And that's why the outlook was for the Blackhawks to make the postseason this year. Now, I guess the good news for the Blackhawks is the way this season started, there was no chance for them. They had an abysmal start. They were the last team in the NHL to finally pick up a win. Actually, let me scratch out. One of the last teams. I think Arizona was the last team, but Chicago was right there. And everybody was just so thrown off. They were like, what happened to the Blackhawks? This is not the Blackhawks team we remember seeing. So, obviously, there's more to the story, though. As a lot of you know, everything around Stan Bowman and the allegations around the organization with Kyle Beach and that whole situation. The organization took a major hit and definitely took a major hit to their PR department. And the Blackhawks, it just seemed like could never rattle the outside noise away from their locker room enough. And it got to the point where the Blackhawks actually fired who is, whether people like him or hate him, Hall of Fame general manager Stan Bowman. He was let go of his duties with the Chicago Blackhawks. Kyle Davidson would come in as an interim general manager, and now he is the next general manager of the Blackhawks. We found that out later on this winter, which is now going into the spring. It's been a rough stretch for the Blackhawks, and obviously things didn't work. They've already traded Fleury because that didn't work out the way they had hoped. Seth Jones, that trade is actually looking pretty ugly. I made a video about this a couple weeks ago. They could be giving up a top 5 pick either this year or next year. So it's one of those things that just, you're thinking to yourself, man, this is not the way we wanted things to go in Chicago. And that's kind of where they're at right now. You look at the last couple seasons, ever since 2015, this team has struggled. They haven't made the playoffs. They've only made the playoffs 3 of the past 7 seasons. Now, if you know what I'm going back to, I'm going back to their last Stanley Cup in 2015. They haven't won a playoff round since that 2015 run. The last playoff series they won was the Stanley Cup Finals in 2015 to win their next Stanley Cup. They haven't won a playoff round since then. They have been to the postseason, like I said, 3 times, though. They played the Blues the season after the Stanley Cup playoffs that they played, and they lost to the Blues in 2016. 2017, they would, kind of get this weird thing. They were first in the Central Division. They would get swept by the Nashville Predators, who got in by the skin of their teeth. They were really kind of, shocked in that playoff series. And that's when we started to see a lot of things change. And now we're at the point where they actually beat, I want to say it was the Oilers. I think it was the Oilers in the qualifier round in the playoff bubble in 2020. And they have not made the postseason since. This will be their second consecutive season not making the postseason. And like I said, 3 of the past 7 years. This is becoming a little bit of an issue. And I think the Blackhawks are starting to say, listen, we need some real change. And Kyle Davidson comes in. He's a new voice. He didn't draft any of the core players here, so he doesn't really have that affinity for these players. So, we've been hearing recently the rumors that pretty much any name can go at this point. We've been hearing big guys like DeBrincat, Kane, Tays, trying to clear some cap space, and the fact that they're going to be on the final years of their deal, they're not happy in Chicago, so I could see that being something that gets rectified this summer. Now, I don't know how much Jonathan Tays is worth. I think that's going to be the real interesting thing if he does get traded this summer. What is his actual value? Because a lot of people have very differing opinions on what he's worth. And then you go to Patrick Kane, you know there's going to be a market for him. So the Blackhawks are just kind of in a weird spot right now where they've got some young guys. They have Doc. They have Boqvist. They have some of these guys that you're like, okay, like this could be pretty good. And now I'm remembering that Boqvist is now in Columbus. Apologies for that. But you're looking at a spot here where the Blackhawks, yeah, with Boqvist gone, you even look younger than that. Now you traded out Brandon Hagel. I don't know what they're really looking at here. This is a full-on rebuild in Chicago. They're getting a lot of draft picks. They're getting a lot of prospects. And they're kind of going to keep the young guys like Doc, and that's pretty much it. There's going to be a lot of change in Chicago here over the next couple of months. And I think that this, a new general manager coming in, Davidson's going to want to put his handprint, he's going to want to put his handprints all over this team this summer. And it could even include Kane, Tays, and or Alex DeBrincat. So that is for today's video. That is it, guys. Like I said, I think really at the end of the day, the Blackhawks are going to get younger and faster. And that's really what this comes down to. And quite honestly, cheaper contracts. I think that's what we're looking at now. A wholesale rebuild, probably starting this summer. And the key to this team going into next year, move out the big guys, get in some young talent. And I think that's what we're going to see as the plan moving into the summer. Guys, as always, thank you so much for watching this video, and I will see you again next time.